Good morning, good afternoon as well. I'm joining you from Edmonton, so it's a little bit earlier in our day. I get to say good morning for a little bit more, but we have some friends in Central Canada who are joining later in theirs, so we say good afternoon to them. But look at everybody coming in. Olivia, could this be more exciting than it is?
I am so thrilled to see all of these kind Canadians joining us for the second annual celebration of Kindness Week in Canada.
Amen. Look at all these hundreds of young people from across the country coming together to celebrate kindness. Could there be something better to bring us together than kindness?
No, what is better than kindness and being kind to ourselves and each other, and of course, as we'll talk more about, our planet.
Amen. So I noticed that we have everybody who has so diligently muted their microphone, and for which that we are very thankful. If we do have something that you would like to say, please do know that we'll be on the chat. And we would love to see a note there, and then we can talk about how best we can get your voice heard in the conversation that we have going. Today is going to be a brilliant day, and we're going to have a breakout session where the students are working together. We're going to have some music, some stories, and celebrate kindness all across Canada. We're super excited to have the team here from Global Dignity hosting this event. Olivia, where are you joining us from?
I am in Ontario, Canada. More specifically, I am in Newborough, which is close to Ottawa, the capital of Canada.
Oh, brilliant. And also, I'll ask Rebecca and Sarah, who are running the show behind the scenes, let us know when we're ready to get to go. Also from Global Dignity, we have Giovanna, who is here. Hello, Giovanna. Where are you joining us from?
Hi, Terry. Hi, everyone. I'm calling in from Ottawa.
Oh, brilliant.
Delighted to be here. Happy National Kindness Week, everyone.
Amen. We have Tara and we have Jamie, who are also here from Global Dignity. I think we got a note, though, from our coordinators that we are ready to go. So, Olivia, I'll pass it over to you, and let's celebrate kindness.
Amazing. Welcome, everyone. We are so thrilled to have you here with us today to celebrate Canada's second annual National Kindness Week. National Kindness Week stems from the wishes of the late Rabbi Reuven Bulka, who is known as Canada's rabbi. It was introduced as a private member's bill by Senator Jim Munson as the Kindness Week Act in 2021, and it became a law in Canada. So it is now our responsibility to uphold this annual celebration, and we are so grateful that all of you are here today to celebrate Kindness Week with us. The purpose of National Kindness Week is to improve the health and well-being of Canadians by encouraging acts of kindness, volunteerism, and charitable giving. National Kindness Week is intended to connect individuals and organizations to share resources, information, and tools to foster more acts of kindness and encourage a culture of kindness in Canada throughout the year, which is exactly what we're here to do together today. Mm-hmm. The theme of this year's National Kindness Week is being kind to the planet. As we celebrate this week, we must remember that kindness is more than just being kind to our fellow human beings. It's also about being kind to our planet and taking steps to protect our environment. We, as Canadians, have a responsibility to take care of our planet and to reduce our carbon footprint and preserve our natural resources. This means taking small steps, such as recycling or reducing our waste, which I am sure you are doing in your classrooms every single day. Being kind to our planet is not just about protecting it for ourselves, but for future generations who will inherit it from us. Kindness is a fundamental aspect of our humanity and something we all possess within. We all have the ability to be kind. That lives inherently within us. It's a virtue that transcends borders, cultures, and religions. Kindness is the simple act of showing compassion, empathy, and understanding towards others, regardless of their background or circumstance. And this includes the environments we live in. I want to thank all of you for joining us to celebrate Canada's second annual National Kindness Week. We look forward to celebrating with you for decades and decades and decades to come. And I hope that we will all leave here today carrying the spirit of National Kindness Week with us throughout the year and strive to make kindness a central part of our lives. Together, we can create a world that is more compassionate, more caring, and more kind. And we would like to open today's event with a prayer and land acknowledgement from Odeshkin. Odeshkin is an Anishinaabe youth from Anishinaabe in Quebec, and he is here today to share his words with us. Thank you for being here, Odeshkin.
Hi, yes, thank you for having me today. I'm very happy that you. It's a second time now. Thank you for bringing me here today. Quick na week, Odeshkin nin. Kiragan zibi shij taganak tuljaba. Hello everybody. My name's Odeshkin. I come from my home community here in Rapid Lake, a little bit up north. I was asked here today to do a little bit of a land acknowledgement and a prayer. So yeah, just when you look outside, you see the ground, the earth, Jojo Aki, the Mother Earth. You see her, and long time ago, that was all that land. It was walked on, and it's still walked on by Indigenous. And yeah, we took very good care of the land, and it's your responsibility too to take care of the land, to treat it with respect. 7 grandfather teachings. All it's treated with respect, and be kind, be careful, and be good to everything that's on it. So yeah, and prayer is talks a little bit about the medicines and fire, sun, moon, stars. My mother, she did the same exact prayer. I'm going to be saying it in Algonquin. Same exact prayer. So we are da because I'm do on jeka kana ke go ka ke jandam no ko me go chonje aki me go chonje jeka kana ke go ne taugin mi jashkin we ya ke ka yeme to go ka kana mushkiki ka yeme jim me go chonje ka kana we sizag ka mo de jik ka ne o ka de jik ka mi so jik ka ye ka ma de jik mushkiki o jik ka ye ma ji ma ojik me go chonje na bi ka ye ka kana ka ton won chishin me go chonje ne seven Kamijan Kajimino Bamadzian. We got Chunje Shkude, Kamijan Kajimino Abujatoyan. We got Chunje Yokijik, Kayakagana, Tekijum. Jesus to be Jesus, Kayan Nangushak. We got Chunje Nambashum Sag Nukum Sag, Unjakakana, Natodemag. We do Kaushan, Janabwakayam. We do Kawayakajik, Shawanim Nebujik, Kedamakajik, Kayawa Wisnajik. We got Chunje Bamadzwan.
Thank you so very much, Odeshkin, for sharing, for centering us in a place to celebrate kindness and to understand this is about, and so much more than just this one time that we live in now, but it needs to be rooted in the generations that have come before, and the example that we've had set on Turtle Island that we now live on. Thank you for those powerful words, and a great way to start our event. Now, friends, my name is Terry, and I am joining you from Treaty 6 land out in Edmonton, and it is with an honor and excitement that I am going to introduce a number of schools from my own backyard. And so then we'll go through these. What we're going to have is that when there's a lot of you, which is exciting because there's so many people who want to celebrate kindness. What we're going to do is we're going to get you to wave. Everybody wave at your site. You'll have a chat. There we go. Everybody practice the wave. This is the kindness wave. And there we go. Perfect. So good. Oh, you're so ready to go. Okay, so I'm going to say your school, and then I want you to wave. All right, so Miss Dana's class, grade 3 at Lauderdale Elementary. Hello, Miss Dana's class in Edmonton. Can you wave? There we go. So good. Well done. And Miss James' class, also in grade 2 from Lauderdale. Hello, Miss James. Well done. So well done. And Ms. Hasenbank from grade 4 at Lauderdale School. There we go. So well done. Good job. And Ms. Denise at St. Richard's Elementary School. Ms. Denise. There we go. We see some clapping and encouraging. Good job. And Ms. Barkwell, grade 2 at Annunciation. Great. Great to have you here, Ms. Barkwell's class. I know they're going to be coming in a little bit. And then we have Miss Kathleen's class, also from Annunciation. Hello, Ms. Kathleen's class. There we go. Well done. Excellent waving going on. And we have joining us from St. Angela, Ms. Heidi Moss. And welcome. It's great to have here as the principal of St. Angela's School. Mr. Jan joining us from St. Richard's Catholic STEM School, also in Edmonton. Hello, Mr. Jan. Great to have you here. Thank you for bringing your students. And next we have Miss Swift Wolf from Chief Miss Dewasis School. Welcome. Great. Join us from Saskatchewan. So this is great. Great to have you here, Saskatchewan, and Miss Swift Wolf's class. We have Mrs. Amy joining us from grade 2 class, Our Lady of Mount Carmel STEM School. Welcome, Miss Amy. Miss Angela's class from grade 3 from Mount Carmel, also from the STEM School in Edmonton. And Mrs. Jen, the grade 4 class, welcome. Miss Meredith, also welcome to grade 5. There we go. Good waving. Good waving. Ms. Meredith's class, grade 5. And last but not least, we have Ms. Matichuk, which is the grade 3-4, joining us from Hafford Central School in Saskatchewan. Welcome. So good to have you here. Okay. This is what we're going to do. We're going to have a round of applause. We're going to unmute our microphones. I'm not supposed to do this, but I'm going to do it because I would love to hear from all of you. And we're just going to give a big cheer for kindness. Ready, everybody? Walk over to your microphones. I'm going to do a 1, 2, 3. We're going to cheer, and then we're going to turn off. So we're going to cheer and wave at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So good. Oh, now, Jamie, could we have a better introduction to your story than all these? We're going to unmute. I got mute. I think we muted everybody at the same time. So we tried that one more time. Well, Jamie, could we have a better way to start today's event? We started in prayer, we started in reflection, and then we started in waving and cheering for kindness. Could we have a better way to start than what we did today, Jamie?
No. Wow. Thank you so much, Terry, for the introduction. And hello, everybody from Winnipeg, Manitoba. That is a terrific way to start the day. And welcome everyone to this year's second National Kindness Week celebrations. It's really a joy to be able to be here with all of you for the second time.
Isn't that wonderful? Jamie, thank you. So I would love to tell them a little bit about you and the amazing work you've done. And then I'll pass the microphone over to you to tell us a story because I love listening to stories. Friends, Jamie has worked in arts-based, community-based research and media arts for more than 2 decades. 20 years. He's a volunteer with Global Dignity Canada for the last 10 years. He advocates for arts-oriented projects that support community resilience in remote, rural, and northern communities. With support from the Manitoba Arts Council, his current projects include designing and incubating the At 1860 Winnipeg Digital Arts and Culture Entrepreneurship Program with Indigenous artists from Northwestern Ontario, Manitoba, and Nunavut. Boys, sounds like you are a busy person, Jamie.
Thank you, Terry. Yes, and it's also a lot of fun. So like Terry said, we have a small arts program that we run here in Winnipeg. And you can see behind me that we have like a big picture of the Northern Lights because a lot of people that we work with come from the north. And so we have like this really great big backdrop. And so I'm really like super excited to be with everybody. And so what I do is one of the projects that I work with is called Our People, Our Climate. And so that's a community-driven arts project where we work with youth to study things like storytelling, journalism, and documentary film production. And it's taught by instructors and people from places like the Minneapolis College of Art and Design. And so it's a program that supports developing storytelling skills for Indigenous and diverse youth and emerging artists. And one of those areas that we've been exploring is about how people and communities experience the impacts of climate change. And that's because people and communities are essential to the discussions and conversations that people at all levels need to have if we're going to be able to promote and protect our world for future generations. And so in our program, youth and community artists, we don't just do art, we get to actually become active researchers, gathering and documenting our own stories and perspectives about how climate change impacts our communities in different places, because the North will experience climate change differently than a Southern community. And so part of that too is also about building kind communities. We want to be kind to the planet. We want to be kind to nature. We want to be kind to the people that we live around and live with. And so the importance of being kind is super important to building healthy and resilient communities. And it's a really feel-good emotion that has real-world benefits that can make our communities stronger. And I think when we're kind to other people, we create positive environments, and that helps people cooperate and build a deeper sense of belonging. And so I don't really have a really big story to tell about kindness, because sometimes kindness doesn't have to come in it can come in all kinds of shapes and sizes. And I wanted to talk about just that global dignity, the work that Terry and Olivia and Giovanna and everybody have been doing for 10 years has really the work that they've all been doing is what made our program possible today. So a lot of the youth and the artists that we work with here in the community here in Winnipeg are in college and university. But when they started, they were in grade 4, grade 5, and they've been at this for 10 years now. And so my instead of a story, I'm going to give you a wish, because this is the second National Kindness Week that Canada's ever had. And just like our group was able to learn from Global Dignity over 10 years, this is an opportunity for all of your classes to have a sense of ownership and to be National Kindness Week. And I hope that as we do this exercise and we have this great, amazing group of people, next year maybe we can have more and we spread that message. And so really that's all I have to say, except to say that it is really amazing to see all of these classes and amazing students coming out to support this awesome week. And so with that, I think I'll turn it over to Terry, because we've got some more great speakers to hear from.
We do add that. Thank you so very much, Jamie, and thank you for lifting our eyes up and to talk about that. When we sometimes look at the world and we're in grade 2 or grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, and we feel that we may not have a lot of power. Someday we're going to grow into adults. And the journeys we start now are very important. And the differences we make now, not just when we're adults, but the differences that we make now and the decisions we make are so very important. Friends, we are going to spend some time sharing with each other. Now, some of you have had some time before we get together to think a little bit and maybe do some activities around what it means to be kind. And so we are going to split off into how many breakout groups are we going? Well, you're all going to be put into another group, and you're going to have and you're going to be able to share not just with the whole country, but with one with one or two other schools. And so this is what you're going to share when you're in those groups. So the question is going to be: is how can we be kind to ourselves? How can we be kind to others? And how can we be kind to the planet? Okay, so we're going to say it again, and you're going to share what you have shared in advance, and we're going to have just 5 minutes. So, oh no, I'm sorry, we're going to have more than 5 minutes. We're going to have all the way until 25 minutes to the top of the hour. So we're going to have 10 minutes. And you're going to go into 4 different breakout groups, and you're going to talk about what does it mean to be kind to ourselves, what does it mean to be kind to others, and what does it mean to be kind to our planet. I'm going to tell you one story that I have in terms of how and when I think about being kind, because I want us to when I go for walks. So I have 7 children, and I just had 2 little babies who came into the world. And I love to go for walks with these babies. And so we go walking through the community. And then when I'm going for a walk, I have a little garbage picker. And so if I see anything on my walk that's on the ground, I pick it up. And it's not a big thing. It's not changing the climate or doing something really big. In fact, you're kind of one of the only people I've ever told about it. But it's something small. And I think we all can do something small. And so that's an example of something in my life where I am being kind to the planet. And in some ways, I'm also being kind to others, because it's not nice to go for walks and there to be garbage all over the place. And so there's an example of a small thing we can do. So we're going to talk about examples, and we're going to go into those 3 groups. So we are going to wait, and Rebecca and Sarah are going to put us into those 4 groups. And we're going to have in each of those groups. So Giovanna is going to be in one group. Tara is going to be in one group. And Olivia is going to be leading the other group. And then I'm going to stay right here. And then I'll be leading the group that is here. So whoever ends up in them, I hope you have a wonderful time. We're ready to go across now. You don't have to do anything, teachers. You'll be placed. You just have to accept that you're going to move. Perfect. All right. So it looks like we have a couple of schools, a couple of classes that are here, maybe even more than a couple who are with me. And so let's have some introductions. We don't have to have our screen on, but it would be really nice if we could see each other. I see with us here grade 5 class from St. Richard's, a grade 4 class from St. Angela's. We have a group from Annunciation School. And then we have, let's see, who is that? Mr. James's class, Ms. James's class. So we have someone who just joined us today from Mr. Wasis. Hello, friends at Mr. Wasis.
Were you making a YouTube video?
Oh, hello, Mr. Wasis. We're so glad to have you here. My name is Terry, and we have a whole bunch of classes. So let's go around to our friends, and we're going to hear from them now. So I'm going to get you to mute your microphone. We're so glad to have you here, and we're just going to test our mics to make sure that we're all ready to share. So can we have our friends in grade 5 from St. Richard's? Can you say hello? Hello. So good to have you. We can't see you, but if that's what you would like, that is totally fine. We're just letting you know. Then we have our friends in grade 4 from St. Angela's. Hello, grade 4. All right, we can't hear you, friends in grade 4 at St. Angela's School. Let's go on now to our friends at Annunciation School. Hello, Annunciation. Oh, and if you're sharing Annunciation, we can't hear you. And then we have our friends in grade 5 at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. Our friends in grade 5 from Mount Carmel. Are you able to say hello? Okay, so I think we have microphones from 2 schools. If you're able to unmute, you can unmute your microphone at any time so that we know that you're able to speak. But so far, I have only heard from our friends in Miss DeWasis in grade 3-4 and our friends in grade 5 at St. Richard's. So what we're going to do is I shared a story in my life about one of those 3 questions that we asked. And the 3 questions are, how can we be kind to ourselves, be kind to others, and be kind to the planet? So do we have any courageous people who would like to come up to the front and share how they think their answer to one of those 3 questions? Let's start with our friends at St. Richard's. St. Richard's, do you have anybody who would like to share? Oh, I see a hand that went up. That's so good.
Okay, we'll have Paul. Yeah.
Make a compliment to others.
He says, make a compliment to others.
Make a compliment. That's such a great example. That's right. I mean, there are lots of times when we don't feel really confident about ourselves. And so to have somebody say, hey, that's a really nice shirt you're wearing, or that's a really kind thing that you're doing, and saying that compliment, that's a great example. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for having the courage to speak as well. It's hard to be the very first kid to share. It looks like we have another example, and then we're going to hear one more from our friends at St. Richard's, and then we're going to go to our friends at Miss DeWasis. Now, the other people who are on here as well, I would encourage you to, if you want to share, but you're kind of a little nervous about speaking, feel free to write it into the chat. So you can come up and get your teacher to write it for you, clickety-click onto the chat, and then we can read it together. So we have one more person from St. Richard's. Do you want to share how you can be kind? Go ahead.
Making good decisions to others.
And he says, making good decisions for others and to others.
Oh, that's a good one, in terms of maybe sometimes we might feel a certain way, but then we make sure that we make the decision that that is going to be kindest to others. Could you give me an example? What would be an example of how you might make a good decision towards somebody else?
Being nice to them.
By being nice to them.
Be nice to them. Great example. That's right. Yeah, when maybe somebody's out on the playground and you notice that they're kind of by themselves, and you can go over to them and say something and be nice to them. That's a great example. So let's go now. We're going to come back to you. If somebody at St. Richard's wants to share an example of how we might be kind to the planet. So it sounds like we are in a great place for being kind to each other. We have a couple examples there. How can we be kind to the planet, St. Richard's? We'll come back to you in a second. To our friends in Mr. Wasis. You were sharing so very well at the beginning. I'd love for you to share again can you, it looks like we may have another Mr. Wassis that's joining us. Maybe that's Mr. Wassis, can you share how you might might be kind to the planet or to others or to yourself? Go ahead.
Yeah. Picking up trash and recycling.
Such a great example. Can you? Oh, and we have another already ready to go. Go ahead.
Keeping Earth clean from dirty stuff.
Keeping the earth clean from dirty stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Planting trees.
Hey,
Flowers.
planting flowers and planting trees. That's such a great example. Where we can not just take something away, but we can also add to something to make it more beautiful. So we have some great examples today. Thank you so much, Mr. Wassis. Okay, let's go back to our friends at St. Richard's. Again, any of our friends who are joining us from the other schools, if you'd like to share, you can unmute yourself or just write in the chat window. So St. Richard's, what are some examples where you think you might be kind to the planet? Go ahead.
Don't litter.
By not littering, yeah.
By not littering. Amen. That's such, there's nothing that I find it so discouraging where we can be in beautiful places or even places that we have that mean a lot to us, like our schools. And you might see someone who dropped something on the floor, and that littering is very much not being kind. So we have 2 minutes left. Do we have another example at St. Richard's of where we might be kind to the planet?
Saving electricity.
Saving electricity.
Oh, that is so interesting. So can you tell me a little bit more? So saving electricity, how is saving, I think that's very true. I am very curious how you think saving electricity is being kind to the planet. That's a tough question. In Edmonton, it's being very kind to the planet because of where our electricity comes from. Does anybody know where electricity comes from in Edmonton? That's another hard question. Oh my goodness.
Want to try? I'll just, yeah.
Solar panels.
He says solar panels. Our school does have solar panels, so.
That's right. Some schools have solar panels. That's a great example where electricity could come from. In Edmonton, and does anybody else have one more guess of where they think electricity comes from in Edmonton?
Wind turbines.
Wind turbines. You know what? If you as a family make a very definite decision, you can have your energy come from wind turbines in Alberta. Most of Edmonton's power comes from burning coal. And increasingly, we have more from burning natural gas. But by burning coal, so every time you turn on the light switch, you're burning more coal. And burning coal creates climate change, and it creates pollution, and it makes people sick. And so when you don't turn on electricity, not only are you being kind to the planet because you're burning a little bit less coal, but you're also being kind to everyone around you because they aren't going to breathe in all that coal dust or particulate. And so they're not going to get sick. So that is a great example of how turning off electricity can be kind to our planet. Mr. Wassis, we got a little bit of time as people are coming back in. We would love for you to share about how you might be kind to yourself or to others or to the planet. I think we have time for one more.
To feed yourself.
Do say that again. Oh, be yourself. Oh, that is such a great example. Absolutely. Because I'm not interested in you being somebody else. I would love to see you be exactly who you are. That's such a great example. I love that. Friends, I just want to give everybody, we're going to unmute and we're going to give yourselves a round of applause because that took a lot of courage. Oh, maybe we're going to wait. We'll give everybody can unmute in a second. We're going to give ourselves a round of applause because the examples of being kind were so incredible. Okay, let's unmute our microphones and one round of applause for everybody sharing so courageously. Well done. So good. Okay, friends, can we have, I'm going to go to our hosts, and each of our hosts, can you tell us one thing that was shared in terms of the kindness to themselves, to each other, or to the planet? We'll start first with you, Olivia. What was something in your group that someone shared?
I was hoping to go first. Jamie and I had the pleasure of hanging out with Miss Matichuk's class, and let me tell you, there is a very kind future generation of Canadians in that room right now. They blew us away. So we had a ton of things come up, but as far as self, we talked about thinking positively about ourselves and speaking positively to ourselves and giving ourselves that self-encouragement and that, cheer on that we so often think of giving others, but making sure we're giving it to ourselves too. As far as others, we talked about giving compliments. So yesterday, their class went through an exercise of giving compliments to one another. Instead of giving traditional Valentines on Valentine's Day, they went through a process of giving compliments, and not compliments on your appearance or your assets, but a compliment on your behavior and your character, which, Jamie, I don't know about you, but I just thought that was a beautiful thing that we should all be doing every single day. And as far as the planet, we talked about not littering, picking up litter, but we also talked about planting trees, which really excited me for something that is going to come up after we finish our breakout activities. So all in all, a very, very wonderful conversation. Wouldn't you agree, Jamie? Do you have anything to add?
I do. I agree with you 100%. And I wish we had more than 10 minutes because we were just starting to get on a roll. But thank you, everyone, for the opportunity to join you in your class while you're eating lunch and to be able to take part in this, because we learned quite a bit in such a short period of time. So thank you, everybody. That was great.
And I agree, we may have only had 10 minutes, but I hope and I know in my heart that you will continue these conversations in your classroom for the rest of the day, month, week, year. And that's what is so promising to us.
Thank you so much. Giovanna, can you tell us about the sharing in your group?
Absolutely. So I had the great pleasure of collaborating with Alyssa and Dr. Paul for our breakout groups. We had 2 classes, amazingly kind students. There are 2 stories that I want to highlight. One was from Priscilla, and Priscilla's story was, if you see another student that's alone or feeling left out of play, to go and bring that student and to invite them to play with you and your group. Such a beautiful way to demonstrate kindness and belonging and inclusion. Really kind. And then we had Marco, who shared 3 things about being kind to the planet. And his were about recycling and throwing out litter and just generally being kind to the planet. So Marco and Priscilla, great contributions. All of the students had such amazing ideas. Is that not right, Alyssa and Dr. Paul?
That was amazing. I loved every moment. Thank you so much.
That sounds so wonderful. That's great. And let's go across now to Tara. Tara, tell us about what was shared in your group.
Terry, this is so incredible to hear all these stories coming in.
We had you. You just got muted there. You started off perfect, and then about stories coming in, and then we lost you. But I bet we'll have you back.
I'm back. Fabie and I had the absolute pleasure of hanging out with the grade 4 kids from Lauderdale, from Miss Dada, and we didn't get to speak with grade 5 OLMC, but I've got a couple of really beautiful stories here from Troy, Aria, David, Kellen, and Helen, and a lot more kids raising their voices for two very important things that really caught my heart. One was the importance of listening to others to understand how to show up and give others care. And we thought that was just so, so beautiful. And the second that came from Helen was learning to clean up our beaches, our forests, and around our homes, because other animals like cats that we said we loved, elephants that someone said they loved, and so many other animals share the same planet as our own collective home. So how do we listen to each other as well as to animals and love all our spaces like the beaches, just like we would our own home? How fantastic is that?
Mm-hmm.
So
that is so beautiful just to hear. I love that being kind is a verb, is something that we do. And it's something that we can do in so many different ways. Well, in my breakout group, I also had some fabulous stories that were shared, and some fabulous young people who were sharing them. We had a grade 5 class from St. Richard's, and then we had the grade 3-4 class join us from Miss Dewasis. And one of them, in terms of being kind to ourselves, is to be yourself. Right? And just to be, don't feel that you need to put on somebody else, but being kind to yourself is a great way for you to be yourself. And there was a really interesting example. There were lots of great examples that were given, but about how being kind to the planet can be a part of turning off the lights. And that was a really interesting one, because they're from Edmonton. And when you live in Edmonton, you get your lights, your electricity, by burning coal. So if we turn off our lights, then we burn a little bit less coal, which is good for the environment, but it's also good for others, because burning coal makes us sick. And it's also good by being kind to ourselves. So it's interesting how when we do these little things, we can actually do all three of them in some of the actions that we do. Friends, Olivia, I'm feeling so very inspired and so very encouraged by having so many wonderful people who are in our communities doing great work. As we start to get close to the end of our time, I think one of the amazing ways of being kind for each other is to create art, is to create music, is to create something that makes our world better. And so what we're going to do is we have the privilege of Dr. Paul, who is with us here for today, and he is an international Canadian, multi-award winning singer and songwriter, inspiring and promoting global love and kindness through a complex portfolio of positive conscious songs. He is proudly an unsigned independent professional trained musician, owning 100% of his catalog of masterworks. Paul's masterclasses and masterworks and musical talents have been selected and shared at lifetime milestones for leaders in the wellness and spiritual industries for iconic souls like Louise Hay, where Paul's music was used to honor Miss Hay at her 90th birthday celebration in front of a live audience of 2,000 people streamed around the world. Paul's work is limitless in its reach, promoting and inspiring love, peaceful space with a strong emphasis on self-love and self-worth. Now, friends, we are going to hear Dr. Paul's song that he has created and is helping to make the world better. While he is sharing his creation, we want you also to create. So if you don't have it yet, we want you to reach and get a pencil and a piece of paper. And we're going to get you to create while we hear a creation that has been shared with us. So we want you to color an inspiration of being nice to the earth, Could be picking up plastic or helping an animal that they want to protect, whatever it is. There is nothing wrong that you can do. But then we're going to take a little bit of time at the end where we're going to get you to line up in front of the camera, and we're going to get you to share the pictures that you have created while Dr. Paul shares his song with us. All right. So whether it's however you have to create, we're going to be doing that. So Dr. Paul, do you want to say a word or two before we go into your song?
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for just beautifully sort of explaining. I think that we are creators, and we're going to create some art together today. And I love being a creator because we get to make things that are new, that have never existed before, like kindness, like love, like reaching out and helping another human being. So as a Canadian, I can say I reach out to the world every day. And what's really beautiful is when you reach out to the world with kindness, or in your communities with kindness, it comes back to you. And I love that about kindness, is that when you're kind to someone else, it comes back to you. So while you're creating your beautiful images, I've written this song. It was a couple of years ago now, but it's been used around the world to help heal the world with kindness. So just have a listen to the words, and it's like a nice river running all over the world with kindness.
So wonderful.
Oh, rivers of love flow deeply through my heart. Oceans and oceans, rivers of love, circles and spheres of holy love. It's a beautiful thing to be alive with so much love. Oh, rivers of light flow deeply through my soul. Oceans and oceans, rivers of light, circles and spheres of holy light. It's a beautiful thing to be alive with so much light. So heal the world, come on and heal the world. Come on and heal the world, come on and heal the world. Oh, circles of love, that is what we truly are. No end and no beginning, just whole love. 360 degrees of love. It's a beautiful thing to remember we're made of love. So heal the world, come on and heal the world. Come on and heal the world, come on and heal the world. Connect your light, connect your love from the inside out. This world is healed when we are healed. This world is free when we are free. Whose world is this anyways? Is it yours or is it mine? It's time to heal the world.
All right. Heal the world.
From the inside out, so heal the world. Come on and heal the world.
Super. Dr. Paul, thank you so much for sharing that amazing song. Jamie and Olivia are drawing. Do you want to share first, Jamie and Olivia, and then we're going to go across to the rest of our schools? Just a student can come up to the screen, and we're going to and just to come up and stand there, and then our friends are going to Sarah and Rebecca will kind of expand your video so that everybody can see what you have created. Jamie or Olivia, would you like to share? Feel free to pass it to your friend if you'd like them to share first. Oh, look at that.
A dog and a house and a flower.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I, thanks to our conversation, have trees and planting trees and taking the tree down and replanting it on my brain. So this is a seed and a tree.
Oh, beautiful. All right. Who is going to share next? Do we have any other courageous friends who come up? Just come and hold your piece of art right in front of the screen, and then we're going to make yours. Okay, go ahead. So these are our friends at Hafford School. Go ahead.
We'll just quickly lift them up, and we just got our first sketches. Hey, what do you have, Ronan?
I did something that's one of these things.
Do with turtles. Okay, thanks. Hold them up.
Beautiful. Thank you.
There we go. What did you draw, Liam?
I did 3 things. 2 of them are picking up trash, and another one were helping animals.
Okay.
Beautiful. We have time for one more, and then we'll have to go to a different site.
Bird definitely stuck in up there.
Oh, she's saving a bird that got injured in a trap.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. That's so gorgeous. Okay, let's go now to our friends up at Ms. James's class.
Oh, it's colorful.
Yes.
I draw the
Okay.
It looks cool.
It looks like it's muted there right now. Oh, no, it's not muted. Sorry, you're sharing. Okay, that's good.
My name is Ahlam. I am picking up some garbage. It's always good to pick up garbage so the earth doesn't get sad.
Thank you for doing that. That's gorgeous. And just so we know, when we pinned that, it didn't become big on everybody else's screen, but just on this. And so let's go now to our friends
at Annunciation School.
Great, thank you. Annunciation, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ireland, talk about your story.
I drew like mountains and like a sunset. I don't know, but it just like came to my mind.
Well, when we are kind, it certainly does create beautiful places, and that is a beautiful picture of a beautiful place.
Ira.
Thank you for doing
Wait,
that.
Alexis, come on up, sweetheart.
Oh, we got one more, and then we'll go to another school. Go ahead.
3 more.
I'm picking up garbage.
A little louder, sweetheart.
Excellent. Well done. Okay, we're gonna have to go now. Sorry, we're gonna have to go to Ms. Dada's class. Ms. Dada's class, we're gonna go. Good job, and continue to share them with your group. And then we're gonna Ms. Dada's class first, and then we're gonna go to OLMC, and then we'll be out of time. So we'll have one person at each site share one of their pieces. Okay, good job. Thank you so much. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Dada. Can you tell us what your
Need help with throwing garbage. Garbage.
She drew a picture of her throwing away garbage.
Yes, so important that we put our garbage in the right place. Well said. Okay, do we have, and it looked like we had someone OLMC. We'll have you go, and then we're going to pass it over to Olivia to close our time here together. OLMC, grade 5, over to you.
Eagle catching a fish on a sunny day.
So beautiful. Well done. Thank you so much. Let's have a round of applause for all of our artists and all of those who were so courageous to come and share. Well done. That was so beautiful. So beautiful. Oh, Olivia, I cannot imagine a better way to have spent an hour of time with my friends from across Canada sharing their amazing art.
I could not either. And as you saw, I put in the chat, please send us your drawings through your teachers. We would love to see them and to keep these celebrations going and to hear what you are continuing to do to be kind to yourselves and others and the planet. And anything you would like to share with us, we would love to see it, because this keeps our hearts growing and going all year round. So just keep those coming in. We would love to see them. And with that, as we've talked a lot about taking care of the planet, and a common theme has been planting trees, we are thrilled to announce that Climate Good, which is a Canadian organization dedicated to bettering the planet and the environment, will be planting a tree on behalf of each and every one of you students who are here with us today. So that's like hundreds of trees being planted. And teachers, we will be in touch to share an official certificate with you so that your class can put it up in your wall or in your school lobby or anywhere you want to show it off, to just show how many trees were planted on behalf of the wonderful, wonderful people in your classroom who are doing good for themselves and others and the planet. And with that, we are so thankful to have you here celebrating the second annual National Kindness Week with us. And as Jamie said earlier in the event, if you remember back to Jamie speaking to us, we hope to see you celebrating National Kindness Week with us for decades to come. We want to keep seeing you come back. We want to keep seeing you be kind. We want to see you sharing. You can share on social media your acts of kindness anytime with #GlobalDignity, #UniteKindness. Email them to us directly. We want to see the kind things that you do beyond today, because National Kindness is not just a week. It's something we need to do every day of every year. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us in this celebration of kindness and for recognizing the importance of being kind to ourselves, others, and the planet. And let us carry the spirit of National Kindness Week with us throughout the year and strive to make kindness a central part of our lives. Together, there's a whole big group of us today. We can really create some movement. So together, we can create a world that is more compassionate, more caring, and more kind. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you. See you next year.
Yay. See you soon.
See you next year.
Goodbye. Thanks for coming. Thanks, Ms. Dana from Lauderdale School. Thanks, Ms. James from Lauderdale School. Thanks, Ms. Denise from St. Richard's. Thanks, Ms. Barkwell from Annunciation. Thanks, Ms. Kathleen.